my beautiful friends, and welcome to another episode of Spilling the Spiritual Tea with your host, Psychic Medium Spirit Advisor, Linda Blaze. I want to talk about something today that has a little heavy on my heart, and I want you to think about it and how it affects you in your life. And that's, when did self hatred become a norm in your life? I want you to stop and think about that for a second. When did it become normal to put yourself down, to judge yourself, to look in the mirror and just nitpick every little thing that you see that you feel is wrong, that society says is not good enough? You are good enough in God's eyes. You are good enough for God to say, the world needs one of you, that beautiful soul, and this body that you get to bring into this world and carry and use to help you shine bright. Yeah, we need one of you. But somewhere along the way, usually it's in our younger years, when maybe it's middle school and the girls start nitpicking the different parts of their body, like my freckles. I have always had freckles. Maybe it's one of those things where it's your freckles, maybe it's your weight, maybe it's the shape of your body. Because let's be real, we all come in different shapes and sizes. We're not meant to be a size zero. We're meant to be zero and to whatever it is you are. And we start hating ourselves because we don't fit in. You were never meant to fit in. I want you to think about that for a second. When you're looking in the mirror, you weren't meant to fit in. You are meant to come here and live a beautiful life and truly love yourself. That's hard when we're learned to hate ourselves, when we're told we're not good enough. We're never going to be good enough. We're not pretty enough. We're not thin enough. We're not strong enough. We're not fast enough. And we start to have these I'm not good enough moments, and they add up and they add up. And your spirit guides are over there and they're like, oh my gosh, you're breaking my heart. You're beautiful. You have all of these things. What would happen if you just stopped the I'm not enough moment and actually said, I love myself? Now, this isn't about body positivity or letting things go just so that you can have an easier life. But what if you said, I love myself enough to change? To change. Now, for me, I need to lose some weight, and I know that. And my life took some ups and downs, right? And how I deal with pain, how I deal with those things is I'm an emotional eater. So when it's a bad day, I turn to food for comfort. And so I have to love myself to not do that. Maybe instead of turning to food, I turn to my husband for comfort. Maybe instead of turning to food, I turn to going for a walk and some time outside, connection. Maybe it's journaling, but finding some other way to express those emotions. To love myself enough to nourish my body with real food instead of the processed food that we're all being sold and told that this is good for us. So I had this deep conversation with my spirit guide because I know I do need to change. And it's hard. So the instant I felt that, it was hatred. You did this to yourself, and judging. Oh, why did you do that? Why did you do that? You're a horrible person if you had that chip or whatever. None of that is real. It's the story society has sold us, that we have to do it this way. We have to put ourselves down. But oh, what if we just loved ourselves enough to pick the better choice? That's all it comes down to. And that goes to everything in our lives. Because I guarantee you, there are parts of your relationships that maybe you don't like enough. Maybe there's parts of your jobs that you're like, this isn't it for me. But we keep doing it because we're told we have to. This is the way life is, but it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be that way. You get to decide. You're writing the story. So, what if your story says, I love myself enough to do all the things that I want to do? I love myself enough to pick the better foods than the crappy foods that I know are going to make me feel like crap later. I love myself enough to share that deep spot in my heart that I don't share with anyone. I love myself enough to reach out when I need support. I love myself enough to connect with God and my spirit guides and my loved ones when I need support. I love myself enough to say, I need help. Ah, do you love yourself enough? Do you love yourself enough to reach out and say, hey, can you walk with me while I do this? Can you hold space in your heart and in your day to just cheer me on, to say that you recognize it? Because let me tell you, there's a lot of times where people see other people suffering and they don't reach out because they're like, well, it's none of my business. Or there's those times where people know somebody needs help and they're not asking for it, and they do reach out. And that moment of just saying, hey, I see you, it's okay, I got you, changes everything for that other person. So I want you to love yourself enough to show up authentically and true and real just as you are. Because God says the world needs one of you. The world needs one of you. No matter what you look like, no matter what shape or size you have, maybe that body that you've been given is helping you to become the best version of yourself. Think about that for a second. Maybe that red hair, the freckles, the extra weight, the wrinkles, the scars, the pain, every misshapen part of your body. Let me tell you, I got stretch marks from having my son, and they're yucky. I don't see them as beautiful. Some people do, but I don't see them as beautiful. Maybe God said, let's give them this so they can learn how to truly love every single part of their body, even the parts that they look at and they don't like so much. What if they could walk through this world and hold space for themselves, not wait for other people? We don't need to wait for other people to open that door and say, you're enough. We open that door and say, guess who's here? Because I'm enough and I am worthy just as I am, as you continue to change and grow. And that's what it's all about, because we're here to learn. We're here to learn and grow and change and express ourselves. And we have this entire spirit team that's cheering us on, that wants to support us. And when we slow down enough to listen, gosh darn it, do they have the most amazing advice. Now, their lessons might be a little harsh, which is something I've been walking through with my spirit guide. The lessons are hard, but they take you to such a beautiful place. They really, truly do. And if you want to start opening that door with your spirit team so you can get those lessons and make that change, the doors to the circle are always open. And we can also book a private session and sit down, just you and me on a Zoom, and let's talk it out. But I want you to just take today to think, am I enough? Do I love myself enough? Because if not, today's the day we start changing that. And every single day that you walk into that bathroom, I want you to look yourself in the mirror and say, you are beautiful and I love you. Not you're beautiful when, not beautiful when you lose weight, not beautiful when your hair is perfectly colored, not beautiful when you've gone into the salon and had your nails done. You're beautiful right now, and I love you right now. And I want you to look yourself in the mirror every single day and say that. Because when you do that, you shift inside. Your soul wakens up and says, oh, okay, now you remember me. Here I am. When you look yourself in the eyes, and it's going to be hard for a lot of people, and there's going to be people that do it once and they're like, oh, that was fine. It wasn't a big deal to me. When you look yourself in the eyes, you're looking into your soul. The eyes are truly the window to the soul. So you go in that bathroom and nobody needs to know. You're in there, lock the door, it's private. You wash your hands, you look yourself in the eyes, and you say, I am beautiful and I love you. Right? Oh, I want you to do that every single day. And then I want you to just do the stuff that you know you should be doing. Do the stuff your soul is saying, hey, love is over here. Not that self hatred, not that anger, not that I used to be this and now I'm this and now I can't go back kind of stuff. I used to be sporty, I used to be active, and now all I do is sit around. No, we're not doing the judging game. We're saying, you know what? I used to be active, so I can go for a walk. I used to be active and I can still be active today, just in a different way. Because maybe, let's be real, as we get older, our bodies don't want to cooperate as much, right? So we can still do things in different ways. We can still be who we are when we slow down enough to listen to our soul. Maybe your soul is like, okay, let's go for a walk. And we're sitting and we're like, I'd rather just sit here because I'm lazy. That's a choice you're making. You have to own that. But we're not doing self hatred anymore. We're not doing it. We're choosing the stuff that allows us to love ourselves fully. So I hope that you will take this to heart. I hope you'll think about yourself today. Look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself how much you love yourself and how beautiful you are. But I also want you to say, what do I need to change? Because let me tell you, we are here for so much more. And society is keeping us dull and stuck and miserable. And if you have been feeling dull and stuck and miserable, it's time to pour into yourself 100% fully and see what happens. Just see what happens. I guarantee you, you're going to be very surprised because you got that spirit team on their side that is going to move the universe and switch and change everything so that you are fully supported. And I want that for you so, so much. So I am here to cheer you on as you embrace that self love. We are taking the hatred, throwing it out, loving ourselves fully, completely, the lines, the wrinkles, the gray hair, the body, the lumps, the bumps, the scars, all of it. We're loving it because God said, the world needs one of you, and we're not going to hide anymore. We're not hiding anymore. All right, guys, I love you. I hope you have a wonderful day, and you really, truly are beautiful. Thanks for listening.